Hey y'all, my name is Jessica J and welcome to Dare to be J. In this video, I will be talking about my 100% yes rule. I use this to make decisions, and it's not always easy decisions, it's not always fun decisions. Sometimes these 100% yeses aren't really fun, but they feel good to me, they feel like the right choice. If you're curious about this, then please keep watching.
Hello humans! Welcome to my backyard, where we have a nice view of carpets drying. Woohoo! Okay, so today I'm going to talk to y'all about a new rule that I have started to implement in my life, which is called the 100% yes rule. What is the 100% yes rule, Miss J? I'm glad you asked. The 100% yes rule is pretty much, I do not accept an invitation to anything without it being a 100% yes from me, right? So this came about because it came about when I started to look into minimalism, right? So with minimalism, it's all about being really selective in the things that you have in your life and choosing things that spark joy, choosing things that are 100% yeses, right? So I started off with the things in my life, and then I started moving towards the non-things in my life. So non-things being like my relationships and love and time, right? And I realized that my time is really valuable, and I don't want to spend all of my time making other people feel better about themselves. So I had this idea that if I said no to an invitation, that it would hurt somebody else's feelings, and I have started to prescribe to the idea that I would rather, something from good old Glennon Doyle. She says to disappoint others before you disappoint yourself. Alright, so how do you know a 100% yes versus a non-100% yes? Well, in order to get really good at your 100% yeses, it's really important that you work on your relationship with yourself, right? Because for me, I had to practice with small things, right? So I would practice with breakfast, where I would say, what do I want for breakfast? Do I want what I normally have for breakfast? Do I want something different? And I would ask myself, and I would just practice saying yes and feeling what it felt like when I said yes to one thing over the other, right? So working on that relationship with your intuition is really, really important to being able to solidify and know for sure when something is a 100% yes. Now practicing that can help you know how your body responds when you are saying yes with 100% confidence. So for me, when I say 100% yes to something, I am very enthusiastic about my decision. I am very excited about whatever is to come, and I typically approach whatever it is with a lot of energy. When I don't have a 100% yes, then I will usually hesitate, be apprehensive, and there's just like this gut feeling that's just like, ooh, no. I might even say like, ew, like, no, I don't want to do that, right? So knowing what is a 100% yes for you, it just takes practice, and I would recommend practicing with little things like food or how you want to spend your time, right? Like if you want to watch Jane the Virgin or if you want to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, like which one feels more fuzzy and warm to you? Choose that one, see how it feels, right? So it's about practicing, to practicing and paying attention. Because if you don't pay attention, you won't figure out what feels like a 100% yes to you. And then when it happens or when it doesn't happen, you won't be able to know the difference. Alright, so here are some examples in real life of the 100% yes rule. Okay, so the first 100% yes rule, the first 100% yes thing that I've adopted is with responding to text messages. So if somebody texts me and I look at it and my gut doesn't say 100% yes, then I just close the text and I answer it when I do feel like a 100% yes, and that could be at the end of the day, that could be 2 days from now, that could be never, and I'm just kind of like, sorry, not sorry. Yeah, so answering text messages, because I don't know, and I like phone calls. I know it's like really old school, but I would very much prefer for somebody to call me than to text me. So yeah, with text messages, they're just not my jam, and I'm just kind of like, okay, that's fine, not your jam. Another example, let's see, accepting invitations to get food or to like places that I don't want to go, right? So I am not a big club person, so is it 100% yes for me? No, it's not. So if somebody invites me to the club, it's not 100% yes. I have a choice. I can either say no, or I can offer something else that is a potential 100% yes. So, for example, a buddy of mine, newfound friend, he invited me, well, he suggested that we go to the mountains together, right? And the idea of going to the mountains, 100% yes. The idea of going to the mountains with him and his group of friends who I don't know too well, not a 100% yes. Right, so then, you know, I was honest and I said, hey, this is where I'm at. I cannot say 100% yes to this situation, so here's my counter offer. And I offered, like, not a full weekend, but like, you know, a day and a half. This one other just thing out there with this 100% yes, something that was troublesome for me was I just really struggle with wanting things and like not feeling guilty about it, right? So I just wanted to throw it out there that this is something that you need to practice, right? If this is something that you want to do. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes patience, and it takes non-judgment, because so for example, on nights where I don't want to cook and I want pizza instead, I might judge myself and say like, oh, well, you got pizza yesterday. Okay, that doesn't happen often. I don't usually get pizza back to back, but let's say like, oh, you got pizza yesterday. And then it's like, well, who cares? Like, okay, you know, then I might, sometimes we can be so mean to ourselves. We could be our biggest critic. And so I just wanted to mention that, because there might be some things that are 100% yes to you that you talk yourself out of because it doesn't fit with what you're supposed to be doing, right? So I would just encourage you to try to work through that, pay attention, and ask yourself what is the purpose, right? Because if it really isn't a 100% yes and your judgment is correct, then that's something to note. But there might be some times where there's just a voice inside your head that is just being mean, or it's like your conditioning telling you, hey, you're not supposed to be here, you're not supposed to do that, right? So that's just a disclaimer that sometimes saying 100% yes is hard and takes practice, but I think practicing it and getting better at it is absolutely worth it.
You like this topic? If so, check out the blog in the description below. See you next time!